In July 2025, just a couple days ago, Chinese social media exploded with a series of leaked, explicit videos. These clips showed a mysterious woman intimately involved with multiple men in a dimly lit room. What was particularly unsettling was the clear visibility of both the woman's and the men's faces. In a strange ritual, the male visitors would bring peculiar gifts like milk, cooking oil, watermelons, or toilet paper, placing them on a table. The sensational footage quickly went viral, topping trending searches in China within hours and attracting millions of views. The public was stunned, wondering if this was a genuine scandal or just a hoax for clicks. Around the same time, in Nanjing, Jiangsu Province, the Jiangning District Police received a peculiar report. A young man appeared at the police station in a state of extreme panic, sobbing as he recounted being cruelly deceived in a romantic scam. The person he had met online, who he believed to be a gentle, middle-aged woman, turned out to be a man in disguise. The heartbroken victim even confessed to spending his entire first month's salary on a gold necklace for his new girlfriend, only to discover the shocking truth. Overwhelmed with shock and embarrassment, he collapsed outside the police station, crying like a child and murmuring, "That money was supposed to buy a bracelet for my mother." The victim's fragmented testimony, combined with the circulating explicit videos, provided a preliminary outline of an unprecedented case. Police quickly recognized the signs of large-scale deception. Numerous men of various ages and professions appeared in the videos alongside the mysterious woman. Many of them were well-dressed, some even handsome and polite. Investigators wondered why these men would agree to visit such a dilapidated room, bringing strange gifts in exchange for free love. What made them trust and commit to a complete stranger they had never met in person? Most astonishingly, how could an imposter deceive 1,691 men without being exposed for such a long period? Was this number real or exaggerated online rumors? Who was behind the beautiful woman mask, and what was his motive? These urgent questions marked the beginning of a real-life case stranger than fiction, sparking a public frenzy in China and internationally.
Upon receiving the victim's report and witnessing the flood of explicit videos online, Nanjing police launched an immediate and intensive investigation. Initially, they found the rumored number of nearly 1,700 victims hard to believe. They initially hypothesized it might be a large-scale prostitution or blackmail ring, with the woman merely a lure for a high-tech criminal group. However, concrete clues soon led investigators to focus on a single suspect. The recent graduate revealed he had been dating someone through a social media account named Hong Jie, Sister Hong. This account claimed to be an older woman living alone in Nanjing, and their meeting took place at Hong Jie's apartment. Based on the victim's information and the leaked videos, police located a suspicious apartment in a working-class residential complex in Jiangning District, Nanjing. Careful analysis of the clips revealed a consistent setting: the same small, dimly lit room with a fixed camera angle, suggesting it was prearranged. This indicated the videographer was likely the room's owner, who had set up cameras to secretly record the encounters. Furthermore, in the background behind the woman, investigators sometimes spotted stacks of containers. Upon zooming in, they identified them as 5-liter cooking oil containers and piles of fruit boxes, corroborating the victim's accounts of bringing oil and fruit as gifts. This also confirmed the authenticity of the witnesses' statements and helped pinpoint the suspect's apartment. Beyond visual evidence, police also tracked digital footprints. Collaborating with cybersecurity units, they traced the IP address and registration information of the Hong Jie account. The results showed the account had been active in the Nanjing area for several years, likely belonging to an individual residing at the identified address. Additionally, the telecommunications provider supplied phone records between Hong Jie and the victims. These calls and messages all traced back to a phone number registered under the name of a middle-aged man. The police's half-formed suspicions were confirmed. Hong Jae was not a woman.
With sufficient preliminary evidence gathered, the police decided to execute a covert and sudden arrest to prevent the suspect from destroying evidence. A team of plainclothes officers, disguised as delivery personnel, approached the target apartment in the early morning when they expected the suspect to be home and preparing for the day. Sure enough, at 5 a.m., the suspect's usual wake-up time for applying makeup, police silently surrounded the building. They rang the doorbell as if delivering a package. As the door cracked open, the officers immediately rushed in and apprehended the suspect. The swift arrest encountered virtually no resistance, as the man in the room was too stunned to react, standing motionless in a half-male, half-female guise. He was still wearing a woman's dress, his wig had not yet been removed, and his face was halfway made up, vivid proof of his elaborate female impersonation. The scene inside the apartment quickly confirmed all the investigators' suspicions. In the cramped living room, police found numerous rotting fruit boxes, including many spoiled grapes and cherries left uneaten for too long. A corner of the room was stacked with large cooking oil containers. Police counted at least 47 cans of cooking oil piled high on the balcony. The sheer volume of these items nearly filled the entire apartment. Yet this was not even all the gifts received, only what the balcony could hold. This detail suggested an enormous number of visitors, with gifts overflowing the house. Additionally, the room contained countless other presents, including sacks of flour. One man even brought 100 pounds after Sister Hong claimed to make dumplings, expensive foreign wines, and even a bulky treadmill. All of these were betrothal gifts, generously offered by victims to win the beauty's affection. This sight surpassed the imagination of even the most seasoned investigators, while netizens simply marveled, crime show scripts wouldn't even dare to write something like this.
Beyond the physical evidence, the digital evidence collected on site was even more compelling. The suspect's laptop and phone contained a vast archive of data about the arranged encounters. Police discovered a systematically organized collection of over 1,600 video clips, each corresponding to a different visitor. In these clips, the imposter recorded the entire intimate act with the victim from start to finish, using the same fixed camera angle. He even meticulously photographed each man he met and noted down accompanying information, such as their name, age, hobbies, and personal habits. This special lover's notebook showed that the perpetrator clearly remembered each relationship and invested effort into creating a sense of genuine connection. Surprisingly, some names on the list appeared repeatedly, with annotations like regular client met 2 or 3 times. It became clear that many victims, even after initially discovering the truth, continued to return to Sister Hom for a long-term extramarital affair. This element was profoundly shocking to the investigators themselves. Not just one, but a group of men accepted this bizarre situation, and some even found it stimulating. According to later confessions, some men admitted that upon learning the alluring woman was actually a man, they were not angry, but felt an unusual thrill. These men became regular customers, returning multiple times, each time bringing a different gift. For instance, one man successfully gifted cooking oil, fruit, and a bag of rice over 3 dates, considering it a courtesy when visiting a lover. However, not everyone reacted this way. Police records also noted numerous cases where men, upon realizing their partner was male, immediately fled in horror. Some secretly recorded clips clearly showed the stunned expressions and bewildered eyes of men who, midway, noticed something unusual about the woman in front of them. Their reactions varied. Some immediately stopped and left without a word, while others, having already committed, decided to finish what they started, continuing the encounter out of regret for the effort expended. This already started, might as well finish mentality led many victims, even after knowing the truth, to comply with the scammer's intentions, inadvertently becoming involuntary protagonists in the stored explicit videos.
After collecting all evidence, police took the suspect to the station for interrogation. Sister Hong's true identity was quickly confirmed through his ID. His real name is Chow, male, 38 years old, not the 60-year-old rumored online. The suspect's significantly younger age compared to the rumors surprised even the police, who had to issue a correction stating the suspect was from another area and moved to Nanjing, not a local as speculated. His skillful disguise and the initial misinformation had misled the public about the perpetrator's true identity, creating a dramatic plot twist when police revealed the truth. Simultaneously, Chinese authorities issued a warning to the public about circulating sensitive videos related to the case. The Legal Daily, an official newspaper, emphasized that sharing images and clips with victims' faces not only violates personal privacy, but could also constitute the crime of spreading obscene material under Chinese law. This reminder came as many curious netizens were widely sharing the explicit clips to see the truth, inadvertently aiding the spread of illegal content. Authorities also warned that anyone storing or circulating these videos could face criminal charges and up to 2 years in prison. This was a necessary step to control the situation, protect victims' identities, and prevent the case from becoming a vulgar spectacle online. Thanks to the police's decisive action, within less than 48 hours of the incident coming to light, the main suspect was apprehended. The investigation team successfully ruled out hypotheses of accomplices or organized rings, as all evidence pointed to a solitary criminal act. From impersonation and creating fake accounts to recording and distributing clips, everything was carried out by the suspect alone. Chinese netizens sarcastically nicknamed him Nanjing's Red Sister, Old Man Hong, referring to his last name Hong, or Sister Hong, alluding to his reddish-brown wig and the female persona he created. With the successful arrest, the basic investigation clarified the entire picture. However, at this point, the public became even more curious about the true identity of the person behind this shocking romantic fraud. Who was he? What was his background? And why could he carry out such a bizarre act for so long? These questions would be answered by delving into the perpetrator's background and the entire course of his crimes. Hong Jie's real name is Cho, born in 1987, making him 38 years old. He moved to Nanjing several years prior for work and lived alone in a rented apartment. He was early retired and had ample free time. His neighbors mistook him for a woman because he always appeared in feminine attire and spoke with a soft, effeminate voice. Even the building's cleaning lady once praised him as a kind young woman for often sharing donated fruits with her. No one suspected that this friendly woman was actually a man concealing a shocking secret. Regarding his family background, Cho was once married with a child, but his wife passed away early. Their only son is currently living abroad. This meant Cho had lived alone for many years. Neighbors confirmed he rarely interacted with anyone in the neighborhood and had no friends visiting. This isolated, solitary life is believed to be the root cause of Cho's psychological deviation.
He confessed to the police that he felt incredibly lonely and empty after losing his family and returning home to silence every day. This loneliness prompted him to conceive the idea of finding companionship by impersonating a woman online, something Cho initially considered harmless and merely a way to alleviate his sadness. Thus, Cho created the persona of Ahong, a charming but unlucky in love 30-year-old woman. The profile picture was of a beautiful woman with smooth white skin, large eyes, and red lips. Actually, Cho's photo, heavily edited with skin smoothing and face slimming apps to the point where he was unrecognizable as a man. In his bio, he wrote enticing lines, divorced and living alone, hoping to find a sincere life partner. With such an attractive and pitiable profile, Ahong quickly garnered attention on dating forums. Cho also spent hours daily in chat rooms and live streams, transforming into a sweet-voiced beauty. His ability to mimic a female voice was so convincing, it gave listeners goosebumps, sounding incredibly delicate and endearing.
As Hong Jae, he would share daily life updates like, "Today I made braised pork. Anyone want to share?" Or, "Just bought this dress. Do you like it?" These feminine, everyday shares created a vivid Hong Jae character, a capable woman who cooked, loved beauty, yet was lonely and longed for love. This perfect image soon ensnared countless men. His account gained thousands of followers, and whenever Hong Jae live streamed, many men would watch, showering her with hearts and flirtatious comments. Chow, as Ahong, expertly handled these sweet words, sometimes shy, sometimes playfully seductive, intoxicating his male admirers. If anyone expressed doubt, he would feign anger, threatening to leave their lives. This sulking tactic immediately worked, playing on the men's psychology. They would frantically apologize for their suspicions, blaming themselves for being rude, and wanting to delve deeper to prove their affection. Indeed, the most skilled scammers are those who make victims feel guilty, and Chow had mastered this art. After a period of chatting, Chow would subtly arrange an in-person meeting. A peculiar aspect was that Ahong never demanded money. This made the men even more confident that she was not a prostitute or a scammer, but a genuinely sincere woman. However, Ahong would delicately suggest that men visiting a woman should bring a small gift as a polite gesture. This request was not unreasonable, so almost everyone happily agreed. But it became the most effective bait. Chinese news outlet 163 commented that this might be the reason why the cross-dressing man attracted so many men. Indeed, many were drawn by the offer of free love, a sweet trap that few could resist, especially those who craved novelty but feared expense. Currently, there is no official psychiatric evaluation for Chow. However, many psychological experts believe his behavior indicates personality deviance. He may suffer from transvestic fetishism, a paraphilia characterized by sexual arousal from cross-dressing, or a form of stimulation disorder from successfully deceiving others. Despite this, Chow was fully aware that his actions were wrong, evidenced by his secret video recording and concealment of everything. Therefore, it is unlikely he will be declared mentally incompetent. Instead, experts suggest this was a calculated, meticulous, and sober crime, stemming from his distorted psychological needs and greed for gain, rather than hallucinations or psychosis. At the police station,
Under the weight of evidence and professional interrogation, Chow confessed to all his criminal acts. However, he rationalized his behavior by claiming extreme loneliness and a desire for companionship to alleviate his emptiness after his wife's death and son's departure. Nevertheless, investigators were not easily swayed by this sympathetic story. They argued that if he genuinely sought companionship out of loneliness, he would not have secretly recorded and distributed videos for profit, as that was a deliberate, illegal act demonstrating greed and disregard for the law. Faced with this sharp argument, the perpetrator remained silent, bowing his head. Perhaps he realized his greed had led him down a path of no return.